Now, for gamers out there, it's time for you to pick one between these two, the ROG 9 Pro or the Red Magic 10 Pro Plus. Yes, they are the only two phones that can be called gaming phones right now. We haven't got our hands on the ROG 9 Pro yet, but it's clear that the Red Magic 10 Pro Plus is going to be a lot more fun than that one. So here's the Red Magic 10 Pro Plus review, which you've been waiting for. This awesome gaming phone is currently for sale at Geek Wheels. Gamers who want to try it out can get it early here. The link is at the bottom of the video. There aren't much changes on the Red Magic 10 Pro Plus in terms of appearance. It still looks as tough as ever. There's a slight change in weight and size, but you can't really feel it in your hands. Our black version is very low profile with the RGB elements hidden away. You can't even tell it's a gaming phone before you play a game. The corners of the frame have been rounded off a bit, so the index finger is a little bit more comfortable when pressing the trigger button. The fan and ducting are still in place. While the fan RPM has gone up, the noise has increased a bit. You can still hear the fan noise in quieter environments. The NFC, R emitter, headphone jack, and trigger button, which were there before, are not removed from 10 Pro Plus. The telephoto camera, wireless charging, dust and waterproofing certifications that weren't there before still aren't there on the 10 Pro Plus either. There are almost no upgrades in design or features, so let's focus on the rest. As we all know, Red Magic phone has always had a less good display than the regular flagship phones because of that under-display camera. However, the display on the 10 Pro series changed that. The resolution, refresh rate, peak brightness have all been improved. The front camera area is also less broken and blends in better with the rest of the area at low brightness. The bezels are narrower and should be on par with the Galaxy S24 Ultra. The only regret is that the lower bezel will be slightly wider. The refresh rate in most non-gaming apps will stay at 120Hz, so the PWM dimming should actually be 2160Hz. Based on the data and my experience, this screen is no longer behind the average flagship phone, and with the pleasure that the lack of punch hole brings to the table, this is sure to be the perfect screen in many people's minds. Although the selfie image quality is still not very good, I believe that the people who buy this phone should not care too much about it. As a gaming phone, the Red Magic 10 Pro Plus is certainly unbeatable when it comes to performance, though the scores don't show how much better it is than the regular flagship phone, so maybe that's the limit of the A Elite. The 10 Pro Plus uses a liquid metal thermal compound for the first time in its cooling system, which has the advantage of greatly improving thermal capability, but the downside is that if it leaks, your motherboard would die immediately. So the liquid metal in the 10 Pro Plus is actually modified. There's a piece of indium in the center that acts as a sponge to absorb the liquid metal, which ensures that the liquid metal doesn't leak while saving space at the same time. But the problem is that this piece of a high-tech cooling material is not placed above the SoC but at the fan. So I think this is a gimmick. If you look at the thermal image, even without liquid metal, this size of vapor chamber is enough to conquer the Snapdragon 8 Elite. As you can see, I played all the big 3D games and it was a piece of cake for it. The average power consumption isn't the lowest that we've seen. Other than this, there are no other drawbacks. These data were obtained with no built-in fan turn on. Why? Look at the temperatures. There's no need to turn on the fan at all, and it saves a lot of power. Anyway, it meets all the normal gaming needs and is, well, pretty unbeatable. Because of the new gaming chip added this time around, the gaming frame interpolation and AI image quality enhancement is able to reach 2K 120fps on the Genshin Impact. Well, turning on both of these features really puts a lot of pressure on it. The frame rate is no longer a straight line, but it does stabilize at around 120. The temperature is also already uncomfortable for the hands, so connecting the controller would definitely lead to a better game experience. There's also good news that almost all mainstream games support frame interpolation and image quality enhancement, which is much better than those flagship phones. Aside from frame rate and temperature, there are other optimizations for gaming that Red Magic has always done well. For example, the camera module doesn't bulge out and your left finger is never in the way. The game space also has the most settings such as voice changer, aim assist, bypass charging. You can also not be limited by the resolution of the screen anymore. Play Genshin Impact with 2K resolution on your monitor with a Type-C cable. All in all, Red Magic will never let you down when it comes to gaming experience. Photography is definitely not what gaming phones are good at, but after all, it is also a phone and you will definitely use it to take pictures. So let's briefly talk about these it's indeed three cameras. As long as you've learned to use it, it can still do its job well. For example, when the automatic exposure makes the picture overexposed, then you manually reduce exposure, the photo will still look good. For another example, avoid zooming in, otherwise the clarity will drop significantly. In short, these three cameras are acceptable within their capabilities. If you have a relatively high demand for photography, then you should not consider this phone. Thanks to the popularity of silicon carbon anode batteries, Chinese cell phone batteries are now getting super big, while the weight and size haven't increased. Especially with the big phones like the Red Magic 10 Pro Plus, the battery capacity has already exceeded 7,000 mAh. So even if the gaming power consumption is a bit higher, it's about the same as other flagship phones just in terms of battery performance. When I was charging it with a little power bank, I was thinking that the 10 Pro Plus is the power bank. It actually does charge other devices as well at around 7 watt of power. The charging power doesn't get low due to the large battery either. 120 watt of wired charging still fills this phone in about 30 minutes. With the long battery life and fast charging, there's no need to choose between the two like last year. As long as you have the budget, Red Magic has you covered. Actually, the Red Magic 9S Pro Plus is already excellent, so why did we buy the 10 Pro Plus? That depends on whether you want a better screen and a bigger battery, because those are the two biggest upgrades. Otherwise, it's pretty good to stay with the 9S Pro Plus. All the phones with Dimensity 9400 and Snapdragon 8 Elite run all the games smoothly now too, so I don't think playing games is the only reason to buy a Red Magic phone anymore. Anyone who is interested in a headphone jack, a huge battery, a no punch hole screen, and a camera that doesn't bulge can try out the Red Magic 10 Pro Plus. And don't forget to buy it from Geek Wheels. We're from Geeks of China. We'll see you next time.